All right, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Shema Yasharala Yahweh, Allah Yahweh Yahweh Ached, and mean, Hero Israel, the Lord our Lord, Lord our God is one Lord. Yeah, cut Wesley Curry up, man. You know what he's talking about, man. This guy's weird. So you play pretend that you don't know. He said, "Wow." Okay, Wesley. You listen to the real teachers and prophets teach and sit your butt down. You don't know what you're talking about, man. All right. All right, y'all. So we're gonna go to the Torah. All right, the law. One of the first five books of the Bible, Genesis, meaning the beginning. Start at chapter 4. Read it. Start at verse 1 to chapter 6, verse 22. And then we're gonna get some wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's science in it. Our book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 1. And we're going to end off at chapter 18, verse 24. And we're going to get some more wisdom into the book of Wisdom of Solomon. All right. Starting at chapter 15, verse 1, stopping at chapter 18, verse 25. All right. I'm not going to share my screen. I'm going to read from my sword. All right. Mm, Hey, you hear how he's talking? Hey, All right, all right. All right, let's go. This is Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife. All right, so let's start off with that first. I gotta touch on that because many people just you got knew, Adam knew his wife, came in unto. You got two different things, and a lot of other different ways that I can't remember that how shall I say it? Just want to understand this is talking about sex or this signifies sex and how he went in unto her, he knew her, he took her, and Adam knew. Let's see if they use it here properly because they should have left it. Adam knew, but let's go down here. Yeah, they just changing up stuff in here. They're really trying to confuse the people. So you know, it seems to me we're gonna have to start just teaching y'all the Hebrew and words and stuff instead of going to sites like this where they changed it up. It's just confusing the people. So let's read and keep it in context because we're not stupid. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. All right. So Adam knew his wife and she conceived. You can already see in context, and Adam knew, excuse me, and Adam knew his wife, right? He knew her and she conceived. We can already keep in context what that means, people, and she conceived. Boom, right there. And bare Cain, and she said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. So let's go into the meaning of their names. It's good that y'all know the names of one of our forefathers, Adam, our uncles. All right. Let's see here. Abel, breath, breath, breathing, right? A second son of Adam and Eve killed by the brother Cain, which is spiritually Esau. That Cain is not Esau, but in the spirit that came back, the spirit that came back to the world is in Esau today. All right. Let's see. Cain meaning possession, eldest son of Adam and Eve, and first murderer, having murdered his brother Abel. All right. So let's go back. Now that we got their names. So Abel meaning breath, as in breathing. Cain meaning possession, as a possession. So remember those names and understand the characteristics of those men right there. All right. And we're going to start at verse 1. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground. Remember, he was a tiller of the ground, an offering unto Yahweh. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahweh had respect unto Abel and to his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. Meaning his face, he got sad. It's his countenance. And Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? And Cain goes, if thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sinneth lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, right? And thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And one of the reasons Yahweh Shai said, let not anger, wrath, and malice be found among you, right? That means you got to get rid of that because it causes you to do things like this. This is just one case in the process of time right here, right? If thou doest well, thou shalt not be, if thou do well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire. So unto Yahweh is going to be whoever he is happy with, gets whatever he prefers, and Yahweh will be with him. And thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, slew him. He's a murderer. If you hate your brother in your heart, you are a murderer. How you feel about him, you're angry with him in your heart. He did something you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh considers you a murderer. Yahweh Shai even said that. He considers you a murderer. Right? Verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So this is one of the cases that, you know, teaching your children not to hate one another is very important. Very, very important. Because you grow up, you know, brothers be hating each other, daughters hate each other, and it's mostly jealousy and envy. And that's what you see right here is jealousy and envy. Cain is jealous and envious of the offering that Abel gave to Yahweh, because Yahweh loved Abel's offering. The Most High didn't have pleasure with Cain's offering. He didn't. Whatever Cain offered, and that's how people see it today. They don't like Yahweh based off the offerings, the things that they do. They know that Yahweh don't like it. Then he didn't know. But then that's why counsel goes before all. Let counsel go before every enterprise. And you counsel, Abel could have, Cain could have easily talked to his brother and conversate with his brother, let it not be a secret between the two of you. So Cain could have easily went counsel with his brother. Hold on, man. Give me a second. Con. So Genesis chapter 4, yeah, verse 9, he said, Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, you are your brother's keeper. You should know where your brother is. You should know all about your brothers. You should know what's going on. You should always be in counsel with them. You should always be in counsel with your brother to know what's going on. That is very, 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 very important to know what's going on with the bros. And if you're not in touch with your bros, something is wrong with you, man. Something is very wrong with you. That's not a good thing to not, know what's going on in the brotherhood. You're not keeping up with things. You're not doing the bare minimum to keep up with the brotherhood and know what's going on, man. You're too involved in yourself, because the men, we're the rulers of this earth, right? Verse 10, and he said, What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. And it's the same spirit that was put on Esau. That's why they act like that. They're just vagabonds, man. Fugitives and vagabonds. And you can see that's in their spirit. You got to look up that type of spirit. That's why they act like that. That's why you got them in the chat room and everything. They're just vagabonds and fugitives, man, from everything. They run from everything, from accountability and everything. Right? And Cain said unto Yahweh, My punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou art driven me out this day from the face of the earth. And from thy face shall I be hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. People are going to know you're not with your folks. You're not with your folks no more. You're out, and something is bad that you've been tossed from there. He's an Adamite. Cain at the time, he's an Edomite. He's of Adam. There was other nations around there, but Cain, he's an Adamite. Watch, it gets deeper. Watch this. And Yahweh said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him. Now the fact that he's going to be pushed out from all the Adamites and he's not there no more, now he got a mark on him. Everybody's going to know it's him. Lest any finding him should kill him. Because everybody is going to know who he is. They're going to be like, dang, that's Cain. He killed his brother. And that is a good thing. Every man should be marked that killed his brother. So everybody know who he is. He should be marked. Yeah, that brother killed his brother, man. You should be ashamed of yourself. You deserve death, bro. Where's that at? And let me see. I can find it better when my sword is right in front of me. There we go. Genesis chapter 9 and verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. So now you can see the Most High's punishment to him wasn't to be killed. Him being pushed off from all the other Adamites, Yahweh's children, was worse enough than that. He's going to be mocked. He's going to be looked at, laughed at. Everybody's going to know who he is. That right there is worse than death. That right there would be worse than death. To be everybody know you killed your brother, and the Most High is not putting you to death by nobody over there, and everybody knows, man, that's worse than death right there. Man. Verse 16. Verse 16. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. On the east of Eden. You got to understand the geological locations. That's why you got to go to Genesis 2. Let me see. Genesis chapter 2, verse 8. And Yahweh planted a garden eastward in Eden, is in Eden is planted eastward in Eden, right? And there he put a man whom he had formed, and out of the ground made Yahweh grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there was parted and became unto four heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is which is compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good, and there is Bedlam and the onyx stone, and the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. It compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. Pay attention geologically where these are. And then you can also understand when you start locating them, you can see where Eden is and the east of Eden where he went. Right? Verse 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is which is goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates. And Yahweh thy power took the man and put him into the garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. So he wasn't created in the garden. He was created outside the garden and put in the garden. And Yahweh thy power commanded man, saying, of every tree. So yeah, I made my point back here and I skipped it up. Check this out. This is Genesis chapter 2, verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into four heads. So the garden is outside of Eden. Eden is the most fertile, though, meaning pleasure. Yeah, I have it over here. The Fertile Crescent that runs from the Nile River to the Euphrates. Okay, the garden. It's the Fertile Crescent. Yeah, it means pleasure. Eden means pleasure. Let's just make sure with this. Ain't no thing. Ooh. 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 Well, they scared to whoop ass. He just acting all up. That's a future killer right there. Yeah, I was right. Eden meaning equals pleasure. All right. And Yahweh thy power planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. eastward in Eden. Not directly in Eden, but eastward in Eden. East of the garden. East of pleasure, the fertile crescent. And this right here is just so allegoric right here, man. We're not going to even go into this today. Verse 9, and out of the ground made Yahweh thy power to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. You had these two in, man, I'm not going to even go there. We ain't going to go there right now because it'll go way off to what we initially wanted to talk about. But I'm gonna reference some maps. The Atlas map. It shows a lot of geological locations. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm watching this video right now. I'm learning too about the Atlas, and I hear it's a good because I've been looking up a lot of maps. If y'all know of any maps that will give us geological locations of, every name is different, but we can always go through the scriptures and find it. We can always go through the scriptures and find the real names of the names that are now. Okay, because a lot of names has been changed. Like you got the Assyrian, they call themselves Iranians. So, a lot of things have changed. Like you got Jewish people, but Jewish people is not a whole nation. And Jew, meaning it comes from Judah, and you got Ish was a suffix meaning pertaining to or not real. So it's not pertaining to Judah. Jewish is pertaining to the whole 12 tribes that they're saying, which is not true. It's not even the real people. So at the same time, just giving you an example, what's real, what's not real. So at the same time, let's go back to Genesis chapter 4 and verse. I stopped at 16. So we're going to go back over here. And Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch, and he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And this is giving you a geological location as well. All right. And unto Enoch was born Irad, and Irad beget Mahaviel, and Mahaviel beget Methuselah. And Methuselah beget Lamech, and Lamech took unto him two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other was Zillah. And Adah bare Abal. He was the father of such as dwell in tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all such as handled the harp and organ. Excuse me. 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wife, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For Yahweh said, she hath appointed me seed. No, for Yahweh said, she hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel. who Cain slew. So you can understand what the name means. Hath appointed me another, right? And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of Yahweh, right? Just go to the next chapter. We talked about that. Hey, and those who's following, though things be said again and again, you should be really quick to go into other things and find other things and look for other things now. Like finding the east of Eden, paying attention to the scriptures, reading it properly, not reading so fast. You shouldn't read this so fast because you miss on a lot of key points, a lot of things that I'm learning as well. Because every time you read the scriptures, you always read something different. Always. There's always something different. Right? Like right here, Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of power made he man. So, what is it saying? In the book of the generation, no, in the book of the records of Adam. It's talking about generations, talking about records of Adam. In the day that Yahweh created man, in the likeness of God made he man. I'm gonna speak verbatim because I'm teaching you guys. But these words need to be paid attention to, okay, and looked up. Verse 2, male and female created he them and blessed them and called their name Adam in the day when they were created. So they're Adamites. Boom. And Adam lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness after his image and called his name Seth. Right? Sorry about that. And Seth was just talked about in the last verses of 4 and 26, and now we're talking about him again. All right. And the days of Adam after he had begotten Seth were 800 years, and he begat sons and daughters. Right. And all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. Imagine the wisdom people had then. Can you imagine that? 800 some years old? That's a lot of wisdom right there, man. To talk to a man that old, man, it'd be hell to live right now, 830 years, man. That's just too much for me to even think about. Like living here right now, man. Verse 5, and all the days of Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos. So he was 105 after he had his first son. And Seth lived after he begat. All right, this chapter right here, I'm just going to go into everybody and how long they lived. I'm not about to do that. All right, if you want to read that, you can go to chapter, read the whole chapter 5. I'm going to skip over to chapter 6 because this is all it's going to go into. Okay? So I'm going to go to chapter 6. All right. Now we at chapter 6. Amen. From chapter 1 to chapter 6 is very, very important. 5 is just telling you the years they live. But if I was y'all, I will go back and read chapter 2 and pay attention to the geological locations and where everybody was and get a map. That way you know. So when the scriptures start talking about these lands, And you got them all written down. I got this book, right? So what I'm doing in this book right now is I'm writing down all the officers and priests and the 12 officers that Solomon had and the priests beside the officers that King David had and everything else. That way, when I'm reading through the stories, I can go back to my notes and know who it was in the land that they was in. This officer was officer over here in this land. This officer was over here in this land. All right. Solomon was over here. Okay, Solomon had wives over here, here, and here. So, when we would have ancestors in those part of the lands, there should be some Israelites over here in this part of the land and that part of the land. So when you look at the map, we're like, okay, cool. Solomon had a wife that was over here, and she had his children as well. So we can automatically understand that we had people over there. We were scattered abroad. And you pay attention to these things, and you're able to go over there. Yeah, and remember this: there were no Caucasian people until Isaac. All right, and those people were called who? Genesis 25. Remember that. So at the same time, understand geological locations is very, 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 very important. Remember that. Very, very important. Pay attention to those things and take heed to it. That way, you guys know what's up. And when certain things is mentioned in the scriptures, you got your book of notes you can go to, and you're paying attention. And the chapter's like, yeah, I remember that right there. Boom. And I precepted that over there, and boom. And you can just go and take your notes and the scriptures, and you can start teaching properly. It was like, nah, man, because over here that was his brother, and this was happening right here. And we got people over here in this land as well. And then you can see somebody say, well, they went over here to this land. Okay, they went over there to Solomon's wife, and then but Solomon had kids over there. And we can automatically understand that we got people over there too. See what I mean, Jelly Bean? So now we're in Genesis chapter 6. And it came to pass when the men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born unto them. This is very important. Very, very, very important. The Adamites were renowned men, very, very famous. Giants of the earth. That meaning famous. It's not talking about 30, 24, 12 feet people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they were, didn't mean that. But let's pay attention, keep everything in context. That the sons of Yahweh saw the daughters of men, the other nations, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. They have any woman they want to. They was the sons of Yahweh. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh. So you got when somebody's like, bro, you being carnal, or bro, you in the flesh, that's AKA for disobedient. Disobedient. And when somebody said, man, I'm gonna stay in the spirit, bro. Hey, bro, stay in the spirit. Stay in the spirit, bro. They're saying be obedient. Be obedient. Stay in the spirit, brother. Stay in the spirit, sister. Be obedient. You in your flesh, sis. You in your flesh, brother. You are being disobedient. Okay? My spirit, verse 3, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh. He has a disobedient flesh. It war with his spirit. The flesh wars with your spirit. Yet his days shall be 120 years. See? There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Famous. Let's go there. So who were the let me see who's in the chat. Hey, listen. Who's watching right now? Let me see. Come on, man. Don't play with me. All right. So we got 4 up in here. Cool. All right. I'm gonna ask a question. Who are the sons of the Most High? Beside Israel. In the chat, let's see if y'all can get at least 4. Who are the sons of the Most High? I'm gonna give y'all one key real quick. Let me see. Which one I'm gonna give y'all? Let me see. In chapter 4, verse 26, and to Seth, to him also there was bare a son, and called his name Enos. Then began man to call upon the name of the Most High. Then begin man to call on the name of the Most High. I gave you 2 of them already. Sons of the Most High. I gave you 2. What are the rest? Give me at least 4. Come on, y'all. Come on. Huh? Who are the sons of the Most High? I just gave 2. Give me 4. Give me 4. Come on, y'all. Y'all watching, give me 4. Come on, man. Give me 4 sons of the Most High. This is going to help out with with chapter 6. This is going to help you out with chapter 6. Give me at least 4. 4 sons of the Most High. And this should be easy. Easy peasy. Enos means man. Come on. Come on. Come on. 4. At least 4. Come on, y'all. 4 sons of the Most High. Not Israel. Not saying that Israel's not. Just give me 4 sons of the Most High. In Genesis. In Genesis. In Genesis. Not past chapter 6. Not past chapter 6. Not past, good one, Gubworker Bar, but not past chapter 6. I forgot to say that. Not past chapter 6. Before chapter 6. It's going to help you with chapter 6. Before chapter 6, give me 4 names of the sons of the Most High. Good one, Gubworker. He was fast on that one. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean, I try to, I forgot to say before chapter 6. Before chapter 6. I'm sorry about that, but before chapter 6. That's going to help us out with chapter 6 by getting those names. Good. Mm. Come on. I got one more minute. Huh? You can go in the chat and say it. Huh? Before chapter 6. Damn, man. Let's see if any brothers get. Man, y'all let my wife get y'all first. Okay. Michael Lowry got you first. I was Oh, I mean, put it in the chat, baby. You. All right. I don't know who won that one, but Lowry. I said Lowry. My wife got it first, so but she picked the ones that he didn't pick. All right. So let's go. Noah's well. He's an Adamite. So here we go. Chapter 6. Let's go back over here. Verse 4. Genesis chapter 6, verse 4. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Yahweh came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. I meant to touch on that. Look up renown. Men of renown. Fame. Famous. Right? Infamous. Report. They were famous. A reputation, fame, glory. Right? Go over here and look at let's go look at this. Remember, y'all should be writing these precepts down and how I'm looking it up and everything. Giants. Doesn't mean the same. We had giants. These were people think differently when it comes to God. Children of God like the other giants. All right. Of the Nephilim, giants, the Nephilim. And they had nothing to do with Nephilim. That's why men of renown at the end. A giant, tyrant, or giant. These were nothing like that. So, sons of the Most High: Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalakel, I can't even pronounce that name. Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah. You had also Japheth, Shem, Ham. They were Adamites. Then you had at the end though, you know, you still had Abraham, you still had Isaac, not and Jacob as well. And that's when you had the Israelites. But I wanted to go before chapter 6, because that's who it's talking about. And it's not talking about, I mean, even though Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth were Adamites, but they weren't even thought of yet. They're not here yet. You know what I mean? They're not here yet. So these men of renown were Adam, Seth, Enos, Canaan, Mahalalel, Jeriah, I can't pronounce the name right. Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, Noah, Seth, those brothers. Seth means compensation. Seth meaning compensation. Eve was compensated for her son that died, Abel, but that was slew by his brother, Cain. All right. So let me also go. So let me read this real quick. And Yahweh said, my spirit shall not always strive with men, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Most High letting you know that flesh is it wars against your spirit. For the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. All right. There were giants, verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Right? And we can also go to Ezra, because holy means separate, right? Let me see. Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. It's Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land, doing according to their abominations, even to the Canaanites, the Hittites and the Perizzites, the Jebusites and the Ammonites, and Moabites, the Egyptians and Amorites. This is showing you how we always mix with the other nations, right? For they have taken their daughters for themselves. No, for they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and the rulers hath been chief in this trespass. That's always happened. They have mingled themselves, the holy seed have mingled themselves with the daughters of the land. It's always been like that since the beginning. All right. So now let's go back to Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And I went there just to let you know, and also to let you know in two witnesses that these things were done, and it's not against the law. All right. But when it comes to certain things, it is against the law. Because when you start reading Ezra, start going into how things became the law, but it was only a situation that happened that made it against the law. And that's another conversation. All right. And I don't feel like deviating. All right, Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And God saw that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Most High sees was here. This is the mercy seat where you and Yahweh meet. Verse 6. And it repented Yahweh that he had made man in the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. A lot of people be like, hey, Most High know my heart. He knows up here. He can read your thoughts. All right. Verse 7. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repented me that I have made them. Remember, he said, man will not always strive with me. All these brothers and sisters begin to be in their flesh, right? They wasn't calling on Yahweh. Verse 8, but Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Yahweh. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh hath corrupted its way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shall pitch it within and without the pitch. And this is the fashion which thou shalt make it. Thou shalt make it of. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make it to the ark, and a cubit shalt thou finish it above. And the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third story shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven. And everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. Hey, I remember last year we was doing this, and we looked up some, or the year before last, and we looked up some stuff, and a lot of people was rebuilding the ark like these heathens are trying to rebuild the temple. Verse 19. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, and keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. Now, this is where you will go right here. When you talk to an LGBTQYAYZ6IW, whatever that is, when you talk to them, they like to also refer to Sodom and Gomorrah. You had homosexuals back then, and what happened to them? They died, right? And they be like, yeah. Then you ask them, well, how did the Most High save the earth after he destroyed it with water? Because it's proven that it happened. These things are proven. How did he destroy the earth? And he flooded it with water, right? Yes. How did he save most of the animals? He put them 2 by 2, and they were what? Male and female to what? Bring life to the earth. What if he brought them male and male? Would there be any animals and stuff today? No. So male and female bring forth life, right? So the opposite of male and female is death. Our people are obsessed with death and with a covenant they have made an agreement with it. Poorly iterated, but you know what I'm saying. Verse 21, and take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that Yahweh commanded him, so did he. Call Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Anaya Shai, Nashamai, All that Yahweh said, what we're doing here. Okay, let's get some wisdom. Let's get some wisdom in us, all right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. Boom, 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 boom. All right, man, this is I like book of Proverbs chapter 15 to chapter 18 is some of the best chapters in the book of Proverbs to me. Even though it's all good, I'm going to say 15 to 18. Bomb. Right? It's the book of Proverbs chapter 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge of right, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. The eyes of, you know how the mouth of fool poureth out foolishness? It's because they're not thinking of the law. Just give a soft answer. That's it, man. That takes away wrath. It's a soft answer. And he that can say in his mind and know the law and know wisdom understands, like, hey, let me just give a soft answer so I won't be so mad. You know. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. Perverseness, not willing to do that which is required of you. That's perverseness. All right. But perverseness therein is a breach in the spirit. A fool despiseth his father's instructions, but he that regardeth reproof is prudent. He that regardeth, respects correction. A lot of people don't respect correction, and correction comes how it comes. A lot of people will run from correction because they don't want to be corrected the way this brother or this man corrects people. They run from it because they don't respect correction. People that respect, they're not going to run from it. That's what you call insubordination. Insubordination causes insurrection. All right. That's when somebody tries to overpower authority. You want to disrespect authority, not listen to authority. When you're not listening to authority, that is insubordination. Verse 5, a fool despises instruction, but proof is prudent. Cautious, understanding that, man, hey, I shouldn't be doing this. You got to think special. We are all being tested right now, and we only fall with things that are common to men, and that's pride. Pride is so common to men. But what's that? I forgot. I'll come back to it later. Lord willing, I remember. All right, verse 6. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble. The revenues of the wicked is trouble. Man, you know I gotta hear. Let's get it up. Mm, mm. Mm. Let me go to my phone. I ain't got time to do it just like that. All right, man. Let's see if we can get this. So we're at Proverbs chapter 15, and we was reading verse 6. In the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. So revenue goes into the Hebrew of taboah, right? Meaning produce, product, revenue, as in money, income, revenue, income, right? So in the house of the righteous is much treasure, but in the revenues of the wicked is trouble, and how they spend their money. The righteous knows how to spend their money, but when the wicked have the money, it's just trouble. There's always trouble, man. You watching me and my wife watching El Chapo, and they got money throwing out millions of dollars to people. Okay. In the house of the righteous is much righteously, right? But in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The more money they get, the more problems, because they're wicked. Biggie Smalls, the more money, more problems. That's because in his house is wicked. This is how they live. Verse 7. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the fools doeth not. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of fools do not. A fool is, you go 1 Samuel 13 and 13. For you have done foolishly, and you have not kept the law of the Most High. That's a fool. Verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to Yahweh, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. Sacrifice. Things that you do that are unrighteous, disobedient. Right? Verse 9. The way of the wicked is an abomination unto Yahweh, but he loveth him that followeth after righteousness. Right? Correction is grievous unto him that forsaketh the way, and he that hateth reproof shall die. Hell and destruction are before Yahweh. How much more then the hearts of the children of men? What's before us? Wickedness. All the time. You see it all the time. And we're grieved by it. It's like, man, if y'all knew. And they can't know, just the Most High close their eyes. All right? Again, verse 11, hell and destruction are before the Lord. How much more then the hearts of the children of men? How much he sees on us. A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him, neither will he go unto the wise. A scorner, he just talk ish. They don't like to be reproved. A scorner loveth not one that reproveth him. So if the person gets mad every time you correct them, they're a scorner. You just correct them. That's it. They're just a scorner. They don't like to be corrected. All right. Neither will he go unto the wise. They're not going to seek counsel. They're not. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. A merry heart maketh a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart, right? The spirit is broken. The heart of him that hath understanding seeketh knowledge, but the mouth of fools feedeth on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but that is of a merry heart a continual feast. Better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Again, better is little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure and trouble therewith. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith. Imagine a stalled ox. Just don't want to do that. Yeah. Amen. Verse 18. A wrathful man stirreth up strife, but he that is slow to anger appeaseth strife. Y'all know what strife is, right? It's unrighteous competition. There's a lot of brothers out here that just want to debate everything and they always want to smoke. Strife. Not everybody that wants to smoke is strife. Some people are doing it for a good reason. Some people are doing it just to get clout. And those who know who I'm talking about. Verse 19. The way of the slothful man is an hedge of thorns, but the way of the righteous is made plain. A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish man despiseth his mother. Well, if you make your father unhappy, how much more your mother? She's the first to teach you everything. Your father's doing things. Your mother's there teaching you all day. Verse 21. Folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom. But a man of understanding walketh uprightly. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. So, whatever you're trying to do, your purpose in this truth in this world, get counsel. Because whatever you do, going to get disappointed because you just don't take counsel. You don't seek out counsel and talk about the things. You always have an excuse of why you didn't take counsel. I think this, I thought this. Well, you're wrong. That's why you take counsel. Again, folly is joy to him that is destitute of wisdom. Somebody's just always doing something wrong with folly is this because he's destitute of wisdom. But in the multitude of counselors, they are established. If you had just talked about it, you'd be all right. A man hath joy by the answers of his mouth, and a word spoken in due season, how good is it? The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The way of life is above to the wise, that he may depart from hell beneath. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. The thoughts of the wicked are an abomination. And that's deep right here, verse 25. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud, but he will establish the border of the widow. Your husband may be wicked. He's going to destroy that husband. Your wife will be a widow and be saved. Verse 26, the thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Lord, but the words of the pure are pleasant words. He that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house, but he that hath gifts shall live. A man's gift bringeth him before wise men. All right. Verse 28, the heart of the righteous studieth to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. Remember that. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he heareth the prayer of the righteous. The light of the eyes rejoiceth the heart, and a good report maketh the bones fat. The ear that heareth the reproof of life abideth among the wise, and he that refuseth instruction despiseth his own soul. But he that heareth reproof getteth understanding. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom. Before honor is humility. Before you even want respect, that's anybody, it's humility first. You must show humility. You want respect, humility comes first. That's with anybody. You can never be too humble and humility. You getting corrected or reproved, humility. Sit there and take it. The Most High exalts the lowly. Verse chapter 16, the preparations of the heart in man and the answers of the tongue is from Yahweh. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Verse 3, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. And by the fear of Yahweh, men depart from evil. When a man ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without slack. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. Better is a little righteousness than great money without right. What to the kingdom? Than great revenues with right. Revenues is income, produce, product. Man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directed his steps. A divine sentence is in the lips of the king. His mouth transgresseth not in judgment. The king got to be the most righteous and understanding logical person, especially in a time of war. He has to be. That's the king. His understanding, people not knowing why he do what he do. Verse 11, a just weight and balance is ours, and the weights of the bag are his work. He weighs out the scale. Verse 12, it is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness. Righteous lips are the delight of kings, and they love him that speaketh right. The wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. That's like when King Solomon was gonna kill his little brother, not a little brother, it's Absalom's little brother. They had different mothers. Adonijah, right? So the wrath of a king, verse 14, the wrath of a king is as messengers of death, but a wise man will pacify it. In the light of the king's countenance is life, and his favor is as a cloud of the latter rain. How much better is it to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding rather than to be chosen than silver? The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserveth his soul. Pride goeth before destruction, and an haughty spirit before a fall. Better it is to be of an humble spirit with the lowly, than to divide the spoil with the proud. He that handleth a matter wisely shall find good, and whoso trusteth in the Lord, happy is he. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. The way you speak, right? Let me see. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, cautious. That's a cautious brother. He's always paying attention. He's always looking, you know what I'm saying, looking for things righteously. He's being cautious, you know what I'm saying? Prudent. And the sweetness of of the lips increases learning. And the sweetness of the lips increases learning. Because that wisdom just comes out your lips and flows, man. It just increases learning. Just want to keep learning. Just want to keep learning. Verse 22. Understanding is a wellspring of life unto him that hath it, but the instruction of fools is folly. The heart of the wise teacheth his mouth, and addeth learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as an honeycomb, sweet to the soul, and healeth the bones. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. It seems like it's right to you, but you don't keep counsel, so it may lead you to death. He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him. An ungodly man diggeth up evil, and in his lips there is a burning fire. Liars. A forward man soweth strife, and a whisperer separateth chief friends. Whisperer. Going up and down like a talebearer. Forward man, a liar. He's just stuff come out of his mouth, a liar. A liar soweth strife, and a whisperer separated chief friends. Now, whisperer is just a liar. He just go up talking stuff that he shouldn't be talking. A violent man enticeth his neighbor, and leadeth him into the way that is not good. Forward is just a perverse person, too. He shutteth his eyes to devise forward things. Moving his lips, he bringeth evil to pass. He shutteth his eyes to devise forward things. He stops himself from seeing the righteous way to devise some evil things. He don't want to see the righteous way. No. Verse 31. The hoary head is a crown of glory, if it be found in the way of righteousness. And the brother, that's old age. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh a city. The lot is cast into the lap, but the whole disposing thereof is of the Lord. Mm, 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 mm. I'm going to let Devon take it from here real quick.
All right, shalom, shalom. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 17 and verse 1. Better is a dry morsel. Hold on. Yeah, so real quick. Better is a dry morsel in quietness therewith than a house full of sacrifices with strife. Right? So a dry morsel with quietness. Quietness means ease, right? Prosperity. That's what quietness is. Having quietness in your house where it's peaceful, it's calm, except for a whole bunch of sacrifices with strife, right? People going at it against each other and everything, people arguing, right? Remember, because quietness is also prosperity. So, when your house isn't really, prospering like it should be, it's not good. A wise servant shall have rule over a son that causeth shame, and shall have part of the inheritance among the brethren. The fishing the fishing pot is for silver, and the furnace for gold, but the Lord trieth the hearts. All right, so the Lord, that fishing pot is for silver, and that furnace for gold, but your heart is the most highest, right? Your heart is, the most highest for Him to um to test you, things like that. See, to reprove you. All right. A wicked doer giveth heed to false lips, and a liar giveth ear to a naughty tongue. Right. So a wicked doer, he's gonna give ear to that wicked man. Right? He's gonna listen to him because he knows that he's gonna tell him to do something that's wicked, and that's what the evildoer is. He just does anything that he's not supposed to do. Whoso mocketh the poor reproacheth his maker, and he that is glad at calamity shall not be unpunished. Right. So he that is glad at calamities. Um, Calamities, distress, calamity, disaster, right? So whoso mocketh the poor and reproacheth his maker, right? So you mocking the poor, like, say you see somebody that's homeless or something like that, and be like, man, look at that dude, man, he ain't doing nothing, this and that, or saying or a person asks you for, or a homeless person asks you for some money, and you got it, and you just you shove them off, or you send him on his way, man. You mocking the poor and you reproach with your maker, right? The Most High is not like that, okay? And he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. If you're glad at somebody's burdens, you see someone going through something, and you laugh about it, and you say, like, and you just act like it's all good. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be unpunished. Is your war against the vision from Jesus Christ? Is the Omni Tattoo 666 great weapon? Um, to that, the Most High is our battle axe and weapons of war. So whatever that is, um, Well, I know we're very much awake. If you can show me what type of work you've done to prove that you are not asleep, then I'll, I'll, you know, I'll agree. But in a falsity, you can prove that I'm not baptized. The vision is just sort of that. Yeah, the vision, the vision is the sword of God. You can show me precept, but as we know, his children, his prophets, are the sword of the Most High. So back to what I was teaching. Um, Verse 7, excellent speech becometh not a fool, much less do lying lips a prince. A gift is as a precious stone in the eyes of him that hath it. Whithersoever it turneth, it prospereth. He that covereth a transgression seeketh love, but he that repeateth a matter separateth the very friends. So he that covereth, right, a transgression, you transgress, you did something bad, and you cover it like, man, Salaki, I'm sorry, so I'm not gonna do it again. You trying to cover it, right? But the person that repeats it is gonna push away friends. You keep doing that brother bad. You keep, say not paying them back when you say you're gonna pay back. You're not gonna do this like you said you was gonna do. You're gonna push away friends if you're repeating that transgression. So, hey, you need to cover your sins. You need to repent, basically. A reproof entereth more into a wise man, but than humble stripes and to a fool. An evil man seeketh one rebellion. Therefore, a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. Let a bear robbed of her whelps meet a man, rather than a fool in his folly. You know what I'm saying? You rather want a bear that got her children taken away than to meet a fool in his folly, right? Because man, a fool's gonna lead you to death. That's what he does, man. Your mouth are too good to eat. Okay. You see what you just said? That's crazy. All right. Whoso rewardeth evil for good, evil shall not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is as when one letteth out water, therefore leave off contention, before it metteth with. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination to the Lord. He that justifieth the wicked and condemneth, right? And it said, sorry, I lost my place. He that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination. So if you justify someone for doing, uh, but what is he talking? Okay, so you not justify the wicked. Someone be like, oh man, I'm about to go get this tattoo. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to go get with this dude's wife. You're like, all right, cool, bet. You know what I'm saying? You do you, and you're justifying the wicked. You're making it seem like what he's doing is a good thing, right? And it's not. It is completely wicked. So if you're justifying the wicked, you are an abomination. But if you condemn the just, right? So if you're trying to get on somebody, you're trying to rebuke somebody for doing something that's good, you are condemning the just, which is also an abomination, right? Wherefore, is there a prince in the hand of a fool to get wisdom? Slakia, wherefore is there a price in the hand of a fool to get wisdom, seeing he has no heart to it? A friend loveth all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man void of understanding striketh hands, and becometh surety in the presence of his friend. He loveth transgression, that loveth strife. He loveth transgression, that loveth strife. And he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. He that hath a forward heart findeth no good. He that hath a perverse tongue falleth into mischief, right? So let's get that perverse. Yes. Okay. Verse lips, right? You have lips to overturn somebody, to overthrow somebody, right? He that begetteth a fool doeth it to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart doeth good, like a medicine, but a broken spirit drieth the bones. A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment, right? To try to overturn judgment, right? A wicked man taketh a gift out of the bosom to pervert the ways of judgment. So you're going to try to, like, hey, give me this and I'll lie about this, you know what I'm saying? So you won't get into trouble like that, right? Yeah, so, um, you try to, lie to overthrow judgment, to overturn judgment, right? That's what to pervert the ways of judgment. Wisdom is before him that hath understanding, but the eyes of a fool are in the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bear him. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her that bear him. Also to punish the just is not good, nor to strike princes for equity. He that hath knowledge separateth his words, spareth his words, slacking. And a man of understanding is of an excellent spirit. Even a fool, when he holdeth his peace, is counted wise, and he that shutteth his lips is esteemed a man of understanding. Saying you can't always jump into conversations or jump to conclusions in certain conversations or certain situations. And when you do that, or when you don't speak much in the midst of elders, you're counted as wise and a man of understanding because you're gathering wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. God. This is Proverbs chapter 18, verse 1. To desire a man having separated himself seeketh and intermingleth with all wisdom. To desire a man having separated himself seeketh intermingleth with all wisdom. So a person that separates themselves from someone or from the group or for a camp intermediate with all wisdom, right? Getting wisdom for certain people, and can also, cause to make that brother fall off, cause him to go into mischief. A fool that hath no delight in understanding, but that his heart may discover itself. When the wicked cometh, then cometh also contempt, and with uh, ignominy reproach. Okay, let's get ignominy. Dishonor, disgrace, shame, disgrace, dishonor. When a wicked man cometh, then cometh also contempt, right? Let's get contempt. Contempt, springing from evil, springing from prosperity, springing from judgment, contempt, despise, shame, right? When the wicked man cometh, then cometh also contempt, and with ignominy reproach, right? The words of a man's mouth are as deep waters, and the wellspring of wisdom as flowing brook. Right, so words of mouth are deep water, or as deep waters, right? So constantly listen to somebody, or when you're in a conversation, you're listening to someone, you can really get took into a deep hole, or into deep waters, and you can really fall and subject yourself to listening to what they're saying and following what they're saying.
This is Wesley. I'm flaming homosexual.
Who?
You should have did
Well,
that with the questions channel.
my children are possible for you. He's speaking as if he's God. That's what he's doing. You guys haven't caught on to that.
See, this is Wesley. Y'all subscribe to his channel. Let me see. Ah, man, I can't get it to. There we go. He got a clean shaved face, and all. I'm gonna try to put his picture in the group. He got a clean shaved face. He don't keep the law.
All right. Verse 5. It is not good to accept the person of the wicked, to overthrow the righteous in judgment. A fool's lips, and his mouth calleth for strokes. A fool's mouth is his destruction, and his lips are the snare of his soul. The words of their wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. He also that is slothful in his work is brother to him that is great waster. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it, and is safe. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. It has an high wall in his own conceit. Right? Before destruction, the heart of a man is haughty, and before honor is humility. He that answereth a matter before he heareth it is folly and shame unto him. Right, so you can't answer someone, or you can't really try to judge a matter before understanding both parties, right? Because you'll get no type of righteousness, or no, you won't get anything out of that, right? Because you don't understand the situation, right? The spirit of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear? Firmly sustain, right? Strengthen or support his infirmity. So his infirmity, strengthen and support him. Disease, sickness, or support his sickness, his disease, but a wounded spirit who can bear, right? Who can really, survive? Spirit that is wounded. Oh. Proverbs chapter 18, verse 15. The heart of the prudent getteth knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeketh knowledge. A man's gift maketh room for him, and bringeth him before great men. He that is first in his own cause seemeth just, but his neighbor cometh and searcheth him. Right. So, person that did something, they go to like, oh no, I did this, I did that. But the neighbor that was watching over there, that was looking from that was on the outside looking in, he's gonna really have the whole story and see what everything that happened, right? The lot causeth contentions to cease, and parteth between the mighty. A brother offended is harder to be won than a strong city, and their contentions are like the bars of a castle. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth, and with the increase of his lips shall he be filled. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor in the Lord. The poor useth uh, entreaties, but the rich answereth roughly. A man that hath friends must shew himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So that I'm the second ring of Torah, Leviticus, and the amber color fire above it.
I'm back, man. Let me put on my war band. Put my war band on, man. I'm about to see. Why do the heathen rage? And his people imagine vain things. Mm, 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 mm. Let's go over here real quick, man. So hold on, man. We're gonna stay on task first, though. That's first and foremost. We don't get off task for heathens, homosexual, Caucasian people. That's what that is. Why do the heathen rage? Why do the heathen rage? Because they jealous. They jealous of us. They hate us that bad. They want to beat us all the time. So when we find our identity, they get mad, man. See, I'm gonna get this Caucasian man. What's his name? Wesley Curry. I'm gonna show you about this devil. This devil come on here speaking nonsense. We don't even know what he speaks in the scriptures. We don't know what he's reading. Who knows? Nobody knows what this man is saying. Better watch how you talk to the Most High's anointed. But you know, Wesley is just a spiritual punching bag. That's all he is. He's a spiritual punching bag. And all we're going to do is practice and spiritually punch this dude. All right? This is Wisdom of Solomon 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as has afflicted him. And that's what we do. We stand in great boldness of Wesley, these so-called Edomites. I mean, these so-called white people, they're Edomites. And we're bold in the nation. We stand out on the highways and byways and we condemn this nasty nation, man. A bunch of homosexuals they are, right? Of such that have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. Didn't they say, hey, Judah and Ephraim shall be oppressed together? Oh, man. Jeremiah 50 and 33. Watch this. Prophecy, which he doesn't understand and know. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 33. And it reads, Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. This is not a time that Israel and Judah have been oppressed together beside in Egypt. That's where you don't know what you're talking about because you don't know prophecy. And all that took them captives held them fast and refused to let them go. The Redeemer is strong. Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause. And that's why we say vengeance is not ours. It's not our job to touch y'all, but we're going to touch you spiritually. We're going to spiritually whoop yo. So let me go back to Wisdom of Solomon 5 in verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. And that's what's going on. Wesley can't imagine how we woke up. The Most High hid the elect amongst the people who they called nothing, whom they had in derision. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. It's strange, man. All of a sudden, we had them in derision. They was out smoking dope on the corner, selling crack to their own people, but now they're on the corner praising the Most High's name. Wow, man. So far beyond all they looked for. And they repenting and groaning of anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometime in derision and mockery. Derision is mockery. They laughed at us in their parties. They laughed at us in everything. And a proverb of reproach. And a proverb is an expression they called us niggas, coons, tomahawk Indians, native Indians, of reproach. It was the name of reproach. They always corrected us. You niggas need to get it straight. He's mad. You mad. You're going to be my slave in the kingdom, Wesley. You know that, right? But if you want to, hey, Wesley, if you want to tell us your part, you can come on live. I send you the link, Wesley. Hey, Zanak, how we send the link? We're going to send a link to Wesley and get Wesley on here. We're going to finish this and we'll have you on here, Wesley, to tell your whole part and everything. But this is them. Verse 4. We fools accounted his life madness. Esau, they called themselves fools. They counted our life madness. That's why they mad, because they counted our life madness. And the fact that they see us, we grabbed our culture, our language, and our understanding, the Lasha One Kodash, just like that. And they can't do nothing about it. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh? And his lot is among the saints. Because Israel is the saints, man. We Israel, we the 12 tribes of Israel, man. We ain't no Jewish people. I'm from the tribe of Judah. Yeah, I'm your real Jew, man. I'll blow you out the water, buddy. You don't compare to us in nothing. Nothing you do is better than us. We're better than you in every which way. Every way, every fashion, we're better than you. I got more talent in my pinky ring, my pinky finger, than you have in your whole body. That's why you mad. That's right. That's right, Nakoraka. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. Who dwelleth in the clefts of the rocks? Caucasian people, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's Wesley and them, man. That's those guys, Wesley and them, man. They vagabonds in the earth. The man has complete leprosy. Look at him. Go to his channel, you guys. Look at him. Go to this channel and pay attention to it, man. That way, when Wesley go live and do videos, we're going to correct him through the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. And you're a fool, Wesley. Shut up. Let's get on with the lesson. This is the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 1. But thou, O Yahweh, art gracious and true, long-suffering, and in mercy ordering all things. For if we sin, we are thine. Again, if we sin, we are thine, knowing thy power, but we will not sin, knowing that we are counted thine. For to know thee is perfect righteousness, yea, to know thy power is root of immortality. For neither did the mischievous inventions of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse color, the painter's fruitless labor. The sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. Talking about idolatry. Y'all should see what the so-called Caucasian man and Edomites God was. It was like this little toy. It was their God, man. Now you want to try to cleave on to ours? Come on, man. Get out of here. Right? The sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it. And so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. Both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. For the potter tempering soft earth fashioneth every vessel with much labor for our service. Yea, of the same clay he maketh both the vessel that serve for clean use, and likewise also all such as serve to the contrary. But what is the use of either sort? The potter himself is the judge. The potter himself is the creation. And you have a creator that created the creation. So idolatry, just like that. Verse 8, the employing his labor, lewdly he maketh a vain god of the same clay. Even he which a little before was made of earth himself, again, even he which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returning to the same out of the which he was taken, when his life which was lent him, shall be demanded. That means when your time is up. In verse 9, notwithstanding the care is, not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel it. Again, notwithstanding his care is, not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel goldsmith and silversmith, and endeavoreth to do like the works in brass, and counteth it his glory to make counterfeit things. See, he's not, people that do these idolatrous things don't pay attention to things. They're not paying attention to the care, his care. Not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel goldsmithing and silversmith, and it endeavoreth to do like the works in brass, and counteneth the glory to make counterfeit things. His heart is ashes. His hope is more vile than earth, and his life of less value than clay. For as much as he know not his maker, and him that inspired unto him to achieve soul and breath in the living spirit. But they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. For this man of the earthly matter maketh brickle vessels and graven images, knoweth himself to offend above all others. Hey, I was just remember what this dumb brother said. He said that he is amber. Amber is the color of brown. You big dummy. Did he say anything else on there tonight? Verse 14. And all the enemies of thy people that hold them in subjection are most foolish, and are more miserable than ever, and than very babies. Hmm. Well, let's think about that. I'm gonna have to come back to that one. For they counted all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor nose to nor nose to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle. And as for fingers of hands to handle, and as for their feet, they are slow to go. For man made them, and he that borrowed his own spirit fashioned them. But but no man can make a God like unto himself. Only Yahweh can do that. Verse 17. For being mortal, he worketh a dead thing with wicked hands. For he himself is better than the things which he worshipeth, whereas he lived once, but they never. Mm. Yea, they worship those beasts also that are most hateful, for being compared together, some are worse than others. Neither are they beautiful, so much as to be desired in respect of beasts, but they went without praise of Yahweh and his blessing. They just sat on a shelf, and our people will bow to them. Man, never ever seen them, never ever hearing their voice, but those are their gods. That's idolatry. You don't know what the Most High look like, but you sitting here worshiping things, calling it the Most High. That's crazy, man. So let me mark this. I need a pen. That's a pen. I think this works. Got a pen over there somewhere? There's one that just don't write. There's one over here that just don't write. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. Let's see. Con. All right, chapter 16, verse 1. Therefore, by the like were they punished worthily, and by the multitude of beasts tormented. Instead of which punishment, dealing graciously with thine own people, thou preparedst for them meat of a strange taste, understanding. Even quails to stir up their appetite, to the end that their desiring food might for the ugly sight of the beast sent among them, loath even that which they must needs desire. I gotta start that over again. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Therefore, by the like were they punished worthily, and by the multitude of beasts tormented, instead of which punishment, dealing graciously with thine own people, thou preparedst for them meat of a strange taste, even quails to stir up their appetite, to the end that they desiring food might for the ugly sight of the beast sent among them loathe even that which they must needs desire. Okay. But these suffering penury for a short space might be made partakers of a strange taste. For it was requisite. Penury is want of properly, it's like extreme poverty. Want of property, extreme poverty. Want of property, property, extreme poverty. So to the end that they desiring food might for the ugly sight of the beast sent among them loath that even they which must needs desire. But these suffering penury, extreme poverty, for a short space might be made partakers of a strange taste. So what is he talking about? He's talking about when we were in the wilderness and the quails and what happened to them. Why you're going to understand why they were destroyed. All right, our people in the wilderness. Okay, so verse 4. For it was requisite. Let me see. Requisite, that which is necessary, something indescribable, okay, that which is necessary. Okay, so requisite means something that is necessary. For it was necessary that upon them exercising tyranny should come penury, which they could not avoid, but to these it should only be shewed how their enemies were tormented. For when the horrible fierceness of beasts came upon these, and they perished with the signs of crooked serpents, thy wrath endured not forever. But they were troubled for a small season, that they might be admonished, that means corrected, having a sign of salvation to put them in remembrance of commandment of thy law. Okay, so let me go back, and I got to give y'all an understanding of this and what he's talking about. Hmm. You know what? I'm not going to be presumptuous. We're going to read past that and come back to it, because we're going to end up reading this again. Okay. Verse 6. But they were troubled for a small season, that they might be admonished, having a sign of salvation to put them in remembrance of the commandment of thy law. For he that turned himself towards it was not saved by the thing that he saw, but by thee that are the Savior of all. Come. He wasn't saved by the things that they were eating, and because they were hungry of poverty. He was saved by him that created all, which is Yahweh. And in this thou madest thine enemies confess that it is thou who delivers from all evil. So by them being hungry, it was like a sign. Yahweh used that to show them signs. So now he's starting to break it down. Now it's just, he used their poverty and everything to show them that who's the Most High. The Most High will, like, I remember recently for the Feast of Booths, I had to work, and I had the contract that I had to do and go drive and pick people up. And I was like, dang, man, how can I get out of this? And the only way I can get out of it is tell the truth to the company, because a lot of people, they're gonna lie to their company. I just don't feel that's necessary. And I was caught between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? Keeping my foundation where I've been building hard, or just destroying it. So I kept my foundation hard and sturdy by I was going to tell the truth. But before that even happened, I sent a prayer to the Most High, and he changed it all up. He had that contract canceled and gave me another contract where I was able to keep it. The prayer, and hey, it worked. Verse 8. And in this thou madest thine enemies confess that it is thou who deliverest from all evil. For them the bitter slack, for them the bitings of grasshoppers and fleas killed, neither was there found any remedy for their life, for they were worthy to be punished by such. But thy sons, not the very teeth of venomous dragons, overcame, for thy mercy was ever by them, and healed them. For they were pricked, that they should remember thy words, and were quickly saved, that not falling into deep forgetfulness, they might be continually mindful of thy goodness. Again, for they were pricked, that they should remember thy words, and were quickly saved, that not falling into deep forgetfulness, they might be continually mindful of thy goodness. For it was neither herb nor mollifying plaster that restored them to health, but thy word, O Yahweh, which healeth all things. But thy word, y'all not getting it. Verse 13. For thou hast power of life and death. Thou leadest to the gates of hell, and bringest up again. A man indeed killeth through his malice. Right? Malice, not liking somebody for no reason. And the spirit, when it is gone forth, returneth not. Neither the soul receiveth up, cometh again. But it is not possible to escape thine hand. For the ungodly that denied to for the ungodly that denied to know thee were scourged by the strength of thine arm. With strange rain, hails, and showers were they persecuted, that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed. For which is most to be wondered at. The fire had more force in a water that quencheth all things. For the word fringeth for the righteous. For sometimes the flame was mitigated, that it might not burn up the beasts that were sent against the ungodly. but themselves might see and perceive that they were persecuted with the judgment of Yahweh. These beasts, were they actual beasts, or were they people that he called beast? Those were people that he called beast. And at another time, it burned even in the midst of water, above the power of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of an unjust land. Again, and in another time it burneth even the midst of water, above the power of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of an unjust land. Instead whereof thou feddest thine own people with angel food, and didst send them from heaven bread prepared without their labor, able to content every man's delight and agreeing to every taste. For thy sustenance declared thy sweetness unto thy children, and serving to the appetite of and serving to the appetite of a cater tempered itself to every man's liking. But now, and ye endured the fire and melted not, that they might know that fire burning in the hail and sparkling in the rain did destroy the fruits of the enemies. So remember when it rained, it looked like it was on fire. And people was looking at it. It was like, dang, that was crazy because there was fire inside the rain. See, Solomon is talking about what was in the book of Exodus. So when you start putting these both together, verse 23, but this again did even forget his own strength, that the righteous might be nourished. For the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. Therefore, even then was it altered unto all fashion, and was obedient to thy grace that nourished all things, according to the desire of them that had need. That thy children, O Yahweh, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word which preserveth them that put their trust in thee, that nourishes a man. For that which was not for that which was not destroyed of the fire, being warmed with a light sunbeam, soon melted away, that it might be known that we must prevent the sun to give thee thanks, and at the day's spring print, that it might be known that we must prevent the sun to give thee thanks, and at the day spring pray unto thee. For the hope of unfaithful shall melt away as the winter's hoarfrost, and shall run away unprofitable water. So it's like waking up in the morning, you give Yahweh thanks. You see the sun, you be like, saying, thank you, son. That's idolatry. You don't wake up until the sun, like the water, son. You wake up until the Most High, the water, Yahweh, for waking me up this morning. All right, for the blessing that had all the people thinking about when they saw the water that was mixed with fire, those were just miracles he was showing. He was showing to the people to get the people to understand how he works. All right, and the creature who art thou make, and the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. See, these things are just very important. Just pay attention to them as you read. And that's why we put it out there. We put it out to people in our class, but we also put it out in video. So when you see the video, just read the Torah portion. All right. All right, chapter 7. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. For great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore, unnurtured souls have erred. People that don't read the law and pay attention to the law, statutes, laws, and judgment, they err. They go off. Some people do things by normal keeping it all. Like some brother might be out there wearing a beard, but he don't know the Most High. He's keeping the law though, just by things we do that we not knowing that we do that we supposed to be doing. All right. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, laid their exile from eternal providence. So this is like when it was darkness over Egypt. Like Wesley, man, he's just in his house. He's in darkness right now. So he's just not understanding. Wesley, you're in darkness right now, man. For when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, just like Wesley, right? They being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of a long night, lay there exalted from eternal providence. He got demons around him, and they jump on him. And then he start coming at us, the children of the light. For while they suppose to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions. He's starting to see faces and people passing by him. And this is what happened when he put the people of Egypt. And this time, that right there, that's going to happen in this land. These plagues are going to happen in this land, and people are going to be starting to see faces everywhere and stuff popping out. You best to be obedient. When you start to have dreams where things happen, man, just be obedient. The Most High is showing you what's going to happen if you just don't be obedient. He's just showing you what's going to happen. And people just got to repent and keep it together. For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noise as of waters falling down sounded about them, and sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenance. Like, they were seeing those things. And remember, it was dark to them. It was dark to them, but to Israel, we saw light. We saw like day. Everybody else was in their house mourning and going crazy. We saw light. We saw everything cool. We didn't see those things. It was daylight outside in the book of Exodus, but they saw darkness. Verse 5. No power of the fire might give them light to help them see and get out of that. Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten that horrible night. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful for being much terrified. They thought the things which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not. Because they couldn't see nothing, that was worse. They thought that little fire was not much worse than the sight that they saw when they saw nothing. As for the illusion of art, magic, it's like as the illusion of art magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. They thought they knew something. Those wizards that was working for Pharaoh, they thought they knew something. He's talking about Exodus right now, and everybody else pay attention. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at. All Pharaoh's wizards and all that stuff, they were sick too. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that passed by and hissing of serpents, they died for fear, denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very tremorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. I read that again. For wickedness condemned by her own witness is very tremorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecasteth grievous things. Pressed with your conscience is grievous. Forecasteth grievous things. It's like, oh man, just for fear is nothing else but a betraying of the succors which reason offereth, and the expectations from within being least counteth the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. But they sleep in the same sleep that night, which is indeed intolerable, and which came from them out of the bottomless and inevitable hell, were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted their heart and fainted and failing them. For a sudden, hold on, for a sudden fear and not looked for came upon them. So then, whosoever there fell down was straitly kept, shut up in a prison without iron bars. For whether he were for whether he were a husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided, for they were all bound with one chain of darkness. All of them was. All of them saw darkness. They couldn't see nothing. Verse 18, whether it were hold on. Yeah. Verse 18, whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones casting down, uh, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts, or a roaring voice of most savage wild beasts, or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoop for fear. For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them only was spread in heavy night, an image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them, but yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the darkness. This was a subconscious torment. That darkness was a subconscious torment. Right? Inevitable means certain to happen. So what I would say, where was that? I'll find it. But yeah, man, a subconscious torment. That's one of the plagues that's gonna happen in these last days, man. It's gonna pop off. It's coming soon, man. You're gonna be just like keeping the law, and people gonna be going crazy. And they're gonna be subconsciously tormented in their own minds. Will it be you? It's already Wesley. Wesley's already subconsciously tormented. That damn devil. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 1. Nevertheless, thy saints had a very great light, whose voice they hearing and not seeing their sharp became they also had not suffered the same thing, they counted them happy. They was happy that was not happening to them. So in that day, be happy is not you. But for that they did not hurt them. But for that they did not hurt them now, or whom they had been wrong before. They didn't hurt them while they was going through that. They could have. They could have went around smacking them, wow, just knocking them out and everything. of whom had been wrong before. They thanked them and besought them pardon, for that they had been enemies. Wow, our people are like that too. I wouldn't besought them pardon. I, that's on them. All that wrong y'all did, I mm-mm. Instead whereof thou gavest them a burning pillar of fire, both to be a guide of the unknown journey, and an harmless sun to entertain them honorably. For they were worthy to be deprived of light, and imprisoned in darkness, who had kept thy sons shut up. Yep. By whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given unto the world. Mm. And when they had determined to slay the babes of the saints, one child being cast forth and saved, to reprove them, thou tookest away the multitude of their children and destroyedst them altogether in mighty water. Start putting the kids down the river. Remember that? So they deserved all of that, man. It's just talking about Exodus, yo. That was Exodus 14 and 24 and 25. Of that night were our fathers certified afore, that assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they had given credence, they might afterwards be of good cheer. So of thy people was accepted both the salvation of the righteous and destruction of the enemy. For wherewith thou didst punish our adversary, by the same thou didst glorify us whom thou hadst called. For the righteous children of God men did sacrifice secretly, and with one consent made a holy law, that the saints should be like partakers of the same good and evil. The fathers now singing out of the songs of praise. But on the other side there sounded an ill-according cry of enemies, and a lamentable noise was cried abroad for children that were bewailed. The children was going through it too. They was crying because their parents walking around going crazy. The master and the servant are punished after one manner, and like as the king so suffered the common person. So they altogether had innumerable dead with one kind of death, neither were the living sufficient to burn them. For in one moment the noblest of spring of them was destroyed. For in one moment the noblest offspring of them was destroyed. Mm. For whereas they would not believe anything by reason of the enchantments upon the destruction of the firstborn, they acknowledged this people to be of the sons of Yahweh. For while all things were in quiet silence, and that night was in the midst of her sweet course, thine almighty word leaped down from heaven. Thy almighty word leaped down from heaven out of the royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. Who is that, Yahweh Shai? Oh my goodness. I just passed it up here when I said it up here too, man. When I said right here in verse 4, by whom the uncorrupt light of the law was to be given in unto the world. See how it's shine. And this is clearly said it. The almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction, and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Ooh, let me say it again. But brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword, and standing up filled all things with death, and it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth. Then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for. And one thrown here, another there half dead, shewed the cause of his death. For the dreams that troubled them did foreshew this, lest they should perish, and not know why they were afflicted. Mm, 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 mm. Their dreams showed them why that was done to them. The things they dreamed of and everything showed them why it was done, why they done, but what the wrong they did. Whatever they dreamed of showed them what the wrong they did. Yeah, I'm saying that wrong. In the dark of the night, in your dreams, that's where the Most High visits you, and He installs what you want to see and everything else. And that's what He did to them. And their dreams and their terrors were shewed to them. Why? What was happening to them is happening. Right? For the dreams that troubled them did foreshew this, lest they should perish and not know why they were afflicted. Yea, the testing, no, the tasting of death touched the righteous also. And there was a destruction of the multitude in the wilderness, but the wrath endured not long. For then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his proper ministry, even prayer and the propitiation of incense, the prayers, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. 21 is important. Read that again. For then the blameless man made haste and stood forth to defend them, and bringing the shield of his prosper ministry, even prayer, and the propitiation of incense, set himself against the wrath, and so brought the calamity to an end, declaring that he was thy servant. Pray, brought incense and pray. Yahweh smelt that good smell. It was like his brother's praying to me. All right, I got you. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms. Who was destroyer? Yahweh Shah. He jumped out of the heavens. That was a destroyer. So he overcame. Hold on, I gotta write this down so I don't. Okay. Verse 22. So he overcame the destroyer, not with strength of body, nor force of arms, but with a word subdued he him that punished, alleging the oaths and the covenants made with the fathers. He brought up the covenant and everything else to Yahweh in his prayers. Right? For when the dead were now fallen down by heaps, one upon another, standing between, he stayed the wrath, and parted the way to the living. For in the long garment was the whole world, and in the 4 rows of the stones was the glory of the Father graven, and thy majesty upon the diadem of his head. Unto these the destroyer gave place, and was afraid of them, for it was enough that they only tasted of the wrath. That was Yahweh Shai. Man, trying to tell y'all. And with that, that's the end of Shabbat services. And we're gonna get with these prayers, and y'all just give us like 5 minutes, and we'll start prayer. All right. No, you don't.
I do.
You don't. All right. This is the Abanawa prayer found in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shimka, Yahweh, Malach Bakah, Tawa'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kahaya, Bashemayim, Latanyanawa, Lakam, Koyawum, Masalakinaw, Kabawakinaw, Kasalakinaw, Kabawatinaw, Wala'ah, Tabi'ainaw, Binasayawum, Abo, Hawashinaw, Manra, Kaya, Lakah, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Walayalamya, Hallelujah. Bahashim, Yahushua, Mashiach, Hallelujah.
Our Father,
which
art in heaven, hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh, thy kingdom come,
Thy
will be done. Here on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Hallelujah. Bahasham, Yahushua,
Mashiach.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. A psalm for the Shabbat day. It is a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praises unto thy name, O Most High, to shew forth thy loving kindness in the morning and thy faithfulness every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings, and upon a psaltery, upon the harp with a solemn sound. For thou, Yahweh, hast made me glad through thy work. I will triumph in the works of thy hand. O Yahweh, how great are thy works, and thy thoughts are very deep. A brutish man knoweth not, neither doeth a fool understand this. When the wicked spring as the grass, and when all the workers of iniquity do flourish, it is that they shall be destroyed forever. But thou, Yahweh, art most high forevermore. For lo, thy enemies, Yahweh, for lo, thy enemies shall perish. All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered. But my horn shalt thou exalt like the horn of a unicorn. I shall be anointed with fresh oil. My eye also shall see my desire on my enemies, and my ear shall hear my desire of the wicked that rise up against me. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh shall flourish in our courts, in the courts of our Alahaya. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. To shew that Yahweh is upright, he is my rock. There is no unrighteousness in him. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashim, Yahushua, Mashiach. Hallelujah. This is the Aliyah. It is our duty to praise the Master of all, to ascribe greatness to the author of creation, who has not made us like the nations of the lands, nor placed us like the families of the earth, who has not made our portion like theirs, nor our destiny like all their multitudes, for they worship vanity and emptiness and pray to a God who cannot save. But we bow in worship and thank the Supreme King of Kings, the Holy One. Blessed be he who extends the heavens and establishes the earth, whose throne of glory is in the heavens above, and whose powers and presence is in the highest of heights. He is our power, there is no other. Truly he is our King, there is none else. As it is written in his Torah, you shall know and take to heart this day that Yahweh is Elohim in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashem.
Basham.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Mashiach.
Yahushua.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Blessed are they that dwell in thy house. They will still be praising thee, Selah. Happy is that people that is in such a case, yea. Happy is that people whose Alahaya is Yahweh. I will extol thee, my Alahaya, O King, and I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day will I bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is Yahweh, and greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy works to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honor of thy majesty, and of thy wondrous works, and men shall speak of the might of thy terrible acts. I will declare thy greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness. Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger and of great mercy. Yahweh is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Yahweh, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of the Slack. They shall speak of the glory of thy kingdom and talk of thy power, to make known to the sons of men his mighty acts, and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. Thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy dominion endureth throughout all generations. Yahweh upholdeth all that fall, and raiseth up all those that be bowed down. Bow down. The eyes of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat in due season. Thou openest thine hand and satisfieth the desire of every living thing. Yahweh is righteous, and Yahweh is righteous in all his ways, and holy in all his works. Yahweh is nigh unto all them that call upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry, and will save them. Yahweh preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. My mouth shall speak the praises of Yahweh, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. But we will bless the Yahweh from this time forth and forevermore. Hallelujah.
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 Bahashim.
Sham.
Yahushua.
Sham.
Hallelujah.
This is the first three prayers of the Amada, Abawath,
Abawath,
Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allahayanawa,
Allahayino,
Allahaya,
Allahayah,
Abathanawa,
Abathino,
Allahaya,
Allahayah,
Abaraham,
Abaraham,
Allahaya,
Allahayah,
Yatazakat,
Yatazakat,
Wallahaya,
Wallahayah,
Yaquab,
Yaquab,
Allah,
Allah,
Shadia,
Shadia,
Allah,
Allah,
Ayawan,
Ayawam,
Gamal,
Gamal,
Kasarayam,
Kasadayam,
Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Magan,
Magan,
Abaraham,
Abaraham,
Gabawarwath,
Gabawarwa,
Atah Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Gabawar,
Gabor,
Lawalam,
Labaram,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Makaya,
Makaya,
Matayam,
Matayam,
Wamaya,
Umaya,
Dawama,
Gawama,
Lakah,
Yaka,
Malak,
Malak,
Hawalam,
Awalam,
Mamayath,
Umaya,
Umakaya,
Umakaya,
Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Makaya,
Makaya,
Matayam,
Matayam,
Kudawarshath,
Kudawarshath,
Shem Yahweh,
Shem Yahweh,
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 Atah,
Atah,
Kadayash,
Kadayash,
Oshumka,
Ashimka,
Kadawash,
Kadawash,
Wakadawashim,
Wadakawashim,
Bakal,
Bakor,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Allah,
Allah,
Barak,
Barak,
Atah,
Atah,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Allah,
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 Ha'Allah,
Hakadawash.
Hashadawa.
Bless you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
power of our fathers,
Father of Father,
power of Abraham,
Father Abraham,
power of Isaac,
Father Isaac,
power of Yaquah,
Father Yaakov,
Almighty power,
Almighty power,
Most High power,
Most High
who
power,
bestows mercy.
who bestows mercy.
Bless you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
shoot of Abraham.
Son of Abraham.
You are mighty Yahweh,
You are mighty, Yahweh,
forever.
forever.
Yahweh, who
Yahweh,
receives the dead,
who receives the dead,
who is comparable to
who
you,
is comparable to you,
King of eternity,
King of eternity,
who calls death
who calls death
and gives life.
and gives life.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
who gives life
who gives life
to the dead.
to the dead.
You are holy, Yahweh,
You are holy, Yahweh,
and your name is holy,
and your name is holy.
and holy ones.
The Holy One,
Every day,
every day,
praise you
praise you
forever.
forever.
Blessed are you,
Blessed are you,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
the power who is holy.
the power who is holy.
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Yahushai,
Yahushua,
Hamashiach,
Mashiach,
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shema. Yasharala, Yahweh, Bahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasharala, Yahweh, Bahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasharala, Yahweh, Bahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasharala, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Achad.
Hear Israel, Lord God, so Lord. This is the Ten Commandments, love and love thy neighbor, love Yahweh, Amiyah, Yahweh, Alahayika, Asherah, Awatazah, Athika, Aratazah, Aratazayim, Mabarthim, La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahayim, Acharim, Alpanya, La'ah, Da'isha, Lakah, Pasol, Wala'ah, Sa'ibadam, La'ah, Dalakorkat, Asham, Yahweh, Ashawa, Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabath, Lakadashwa, Kabad, Abaka, Wa, Amaka, La'ah, Taratazak, La'ah, Tana'ap, La'ah, Daganab, La'ah, Tana'ah, Shakur, La'ah, Takamad, Call, Asherah, Abraika, first greatest commandments. Hero Israel, Yahweh our God, Yahweh is one. Thou shalt love Yahweh thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy might. Second greatest commandments. Ra'ika la'ato kama la'ata tar'ath banya anka wa'abuta la'ra'ika kama waka'anya Yahweh. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yahweh. This is Zakar 1, Hasha'ah, Memorial of the Woman. Now when Yahushua was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, To what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for 300 pence when his wages, and given to the poor. When Yahushua understood it, he said unto them, Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Really I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her. Hallelujah.
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 Hashem.
Bahasham.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Hamashiach.
Hamashiach.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
I'm having people in the comments.
Shalom. Shalom. Hey, out the water for hanging out with us. Hey, whenever we post the videos that have the Torah portions in them, please do the study. Man, you crazy as hell. Hey, Wesley, you want to go live? Debate that call so we know what you're talking about. Him that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. Yo, Wesley, come on, man. How about I send you the link, right? And you get up in here and debate your cause. Huh? How would you like doing that? You know you haven't paid your tithes either, Wesley. You need to shut up and pay your tithes, man. You see that thing going across the screen? Hey, don't pray for the heathen. It won't work. The Most High heareth not sinners. So it'd be a waste of time, Michael Lowry, to pray for a heathen. You can't pray for the heathen. They're always going to be deranged, man. Wesley, you need to join some classes, man, so you can understand who these heathens are. We don't pray for heathens, man. Don't pray for Wesley. Most High don't like him anyways. Romans 9 and 13. Most High hates Esau. That's Esau, man. He's a he's a vagabond in the earth. I mean, who listen to text messages all day, man? You're writing a text across the board, man. Just get on here and show the world, man. Ain't that many people watching. Come on now. I mean, you will go viral. You'll get your name heard and everything else, man. So I would, but you have demonstrated only that you do not listen. I want you to go to the scriptures. That's what I want you to do. I want you to go to the scriptures. I don't want you to sit here and talk. I want you to go through the Bible and prove what you say. Because that's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the Bible and history. Oh, melanin is ash? So ain't God's children with melanin, who he sat in the east of Eden? Huh? Thy crooked one? Even your scientists say the people of melanin was first on earth. Y'all didn't come until Esau. So that's the case. Adam is ash. Hold up. How about the tree of knowledge? Ain't the tree of knowledge ash? Which was a man that was called the tree of knowledge? That means he's ash too, right? Let's go there. See, Wesley gonna eat his words because he don't know what he's talking about. We're gonna make Wesley eat his words. So, Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And Yahweh thy power formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed in his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Right? And Yahweh thy power planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put man who he formed from the dust of the ground. Let's look up dust. Now we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there. But what color is the dust of the ground? The deeper it is, the darker it is, the clay, man. Not the dust from the. Come on, man. You're saying Adam is ash. You're being very disrespectful, Edom. Anointed Christmassy feeling. You don't make any sense. Why don't you just? I'm gonna send a link. I'm gonna send a link to you. You can get on. Me invite you. Invite you, Wesley, so you can. All right, Wesley. I'm gonna put it in the chat for you, Wesley, to get on. All right. All right, Wesley. There you go. There goes the link, Wesley. Come on. Come on, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks. I got some questions to ask you. Jump on here. Love this melanin. We don't get melanoma. We don't need sunblock. Wesley gets melanoma and skin cancer. Come over here, man. Show us what you got. Come on, skin cancer guy. SPF. Come on, SPF. Beautiful melanin. Just beautiful melanin. They even sell melanin on the market, man. Look at this beautiful melanin. Look at this. So beautiful. Don't you wish you had this melanin? Come on here and talk to me. Come on. The link is in the chat, Wesley. Grab it. Grab it. Speak up for yourself, man. You know, pull this up and prove your case. No words. Pull that up, man. Let's get that. Come on, Wesley. Get on here, man. Everybody, get Wesley on here. Tell Wesley to come here, man. Tell Wesley to get over here, y'all. Tell Wesley to come live, man. Wow. This is some straight hood rat shit. Look at this. Toenails got nails done. Hey, yeah, Michael Lowry. Hey, man, you hit me up, bro. Hit me up, man, on the inbox. You got Facebook, bro? Hit me up, man. We can chop it up and talk. All right. We got to get you in some classes, man. That way you don't be making the Most High mad by sending up prayers to the heathen. Most High ain't gonna hear that, man. And you got to prove what you say with scripture. So hit me up. We get you in some classes, man, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yashai. Let me see. You kind of inbox me, all right? Man, I looked through your YouTube page. You said you had a Facebook just now, but it's all good, man. Inbox me, whatnot. If you got Messenger, man, just inbox me, or you can hit me up here at my email. You can hit me up there. You know. All right, then, man. With that, I say Shalom. Yahabashina Shabakathum. Hey, man. Wesley. The link is right there, buddy.